One of my favorite things to use in Elden Ring is sleep. It's not the absolute best, but I've just always liked it. And I started liking it even more after the DLC came out, and I found Thiolia's hidden needle. But unfortunately, sleep is more of a PvP status effect. Since most bosses won't actually fall asleep, they'll more than likely just stagger for a second, then shake their head and return to whooping your ass. That's not a real problem though, since that gives you time to heal real quick, or put distance between you and the boss if that's what you want. Or you can obviously just assault them a little bit during that time. If they don't get staggered and actually fall asleep, then they'll fall asleep for up to a minute, and you can get a critical attack off on them while they're like this. The most notable example of this is the Godskin duo. I'm sure everyone knows the easiest way to kill the Godskin duos is to put them to sleep and then violate them. For normal enemies, if they can be procced with the sleep effect, most of them will fall asleep for up to a minute like the Godskin duo. But they'll just wake up if you attack them, so it's best to just try and get that critical hit. Now, along with Thiolia's hidden needle and the Velvet Sword of St. Trina, the DLC added a new status effect known as Eternal Sleep. It's roughly the same as the normal sleep status effect, but Eternal Sleep is obviously much better. If you proc Eternal Sleep, the enemy falls asleep permanently, and they won't wake even when attacked, as opposed to the regular sleep effect. Unfortunately though, critical attacks aren't available like the regular sleep effect, and bosses that are vulnerable to Eternal Sleep will fall asleep and not wake up even when attacked for about 5 seconds. Then the effect regresses into the common sleep effect. And just like before, some bosses will simply shake their head and say, "Get that shit out of here." Now, as I said, sleep is mostly a PvP effect. The effects it has in PvP is pretty nice. So players that get sleep proxies by other players are stunned for a second, which gives you as much time as you need to heal or violate them. The sleep proc drains players' FP by 10% of their max FP plus 30, so I'm not too sure about this one, but I assume it's exactly how it sounds. So for example, if someone has 200 FP and they get procced with sleep, then they'll lose 50 FP. 10% of 200 is 20 plus 30, so it'd be 50 FP total. Now the Eternal Sleep proc is a bit better. Eternal Sleep drains players' FP by 15% of their max FP plus 50. So once again, as long as I'm not misunderstanding what this means, let's say someone has 200 FP again, and they get procced with Eternal Sleep. They'd lose 80 FP, 15% of 200 would be 30, then plus 50, and it'd be 80. It's pretty simple, and it sounds absolutely lovely, especially if you're up against someone that just spams magic or their Ash of War. Now in PvP, you can't actually get a critical hit off proccing sleep on someone, but it does give you time to do a charged heavy attack or cast a spell or something. And I'm sure most people already know this by now, but you can raise your resistance to sleep by using talismans that raise your focus, like the Clarifying Horn Charm or the Mottled Necklace. You can also add points into the Mind stat, and that'll raise your resistance as well. Now one last thing, if you're using the St. Trina's Smile Talisman and you get procced with sleep, you do still gain the 20% attack power buff. It is reduced to 12% in PvP though. Anyway, if you watched until this point, then thanks for sticking around. And if you found this helpful, or think that St. Trina's the best NPC, then please consider giving this video a like and subscribing. It would really help out the channel and mean a lot to me. That's about it. Until next time.
And